jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bell, jingle bell,
jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is
to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to laugh and sing slowly song tonight. Oh,
jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Welcome, everyone. It is Christmas Day. Can you believe that? It is Sunday, December 25th, 2022, and Christmas Day. So welcome. We are here. I'm Robin, the co-host. This is the Morgellons Call of the Week, and we are celebrating Christmas and gratitude today. So, yeah, it's great to be here. It's wonderful to be able to share with you guys. I'm here with Richard Kuhns, the leading expert on Morgellons, in my opinion, my humble opinion. And we are here to offer support, answer questions, encourage, and give solutions. And that's what Richard does all the time. In his book, with his diet, in emails, and in person every Sunday on this call. So without further ado, I'm welcoming Richard Kuhns, also singer.
Not nearly as good as you. Thank you, Robin. So let's start off with, what are you grateful for, Robin?
So many things. I'm grateful for you, Richard. I'm grateful for your book. I'm grateful for this call. I'm grateful for the community that we have of support and love and prayer. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my home. I'm grateful that I can pay my bills. I'm grateful that I never stop learning, that I have new dreams and goals for the new year. That's just some of what I'm grateful for.
Oh, wow. That sounds great. Mary, what are you grateful for?
Well, I'm grateful for a lot of things, pretty much all the things that Robin said, and we complain and about the bug biting in our clothes and in our house, but at least we have a house and clothes to deal with. But when the weather dropped here, it got really, really cold. It went from like 50 degrees down to 12, and my pipes froze, and I didn't have any hot water yesterday, and usually I can defrost them. I was afraid that I was going to end up with this huge plumbing bill, and I just kept blasting the heaters overnight, and I woke up this morning and I had hot water. So I am very grateful for hot water.
Wow, that's great. Nothing worse than busted pipes. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So Santa brought me hot water.
And Chris, what are you grateful for?
Oh, I'm very thankful and grateful to have a job, and thankful to you for giving me the freedom and the support in my daily operations of the company. And I'm also thankful for my beautiful wife and 2 daughters who are just the only people, blood relation I have in this country, so there's nobody else. But I also want to, just at the same note, I want to say that I do my devotions, and I'm a devout follower of Jesus. And recently, when I was doing my devotion, this is what God taught me, which was totally unknown to me. So he said, I was praying, and this is what came to me. Praying is seeking God's plan to be fulfilled and asking His will to change me or us and our plans according to His plans, and not asking Him to change His plan to match our plans. Remember, His plan may not match ours, but it is the best today, tomorrow, and forever. He has the best interest. Sometimes it may conflict with ours because what we ask Him is not the best for us. We, in our finite wisdom and knowledge, try to challenge and manipulate God's infinite wisdom. So that's what he came to me, and I'm humble, and I'm beginning to change myself and seeking God and what His plan is, so that I can adapt to it instead of asking God what He wanted to do. And the other thing I wanted to tell is, at this same time, because of Christmas, I have a role in the company, and I'm responsible for the daily operations of the business. But sometimes you guys might have received a small handwritten note that I prayed for your package. That was not just thrown it in there. I take a few random packages a day when my day is not busy, and I honestly pray a couple minutes before that package is packaged completely. So sometimes I add a note as an encouragement, and sometimes I do not. But many times these packages are sincerely and honestly prayed because we genuinely and honestly care about your restoration and your health. I also provide world-class customer service locally, domestically, and internationally. I also do the understanding the client's needs. Sometimes they say, I need this package tomorrow. So I stop and I have to run to the post office to send an express package. And I come back, and sometimes people say, I don't want you to send it by postal service. I want you to send by UPS or FedEx. So that is different from my normal routine of things to do. If I use a UPS, what difference it makes? So maybe Richard doesn't know this. If I send it in a flat rate box, all I have to do is to make sure everything fits in that box. But if I use UPS, I have to make sure that I give the correct weight and the dimension of the package. So that means whatever product you order, I have to put it on the scale, and I have to weigh each and every product and then give a total weight for the UPS. For the USPS, Postal Service, my job is much more easier. So making sure when I run to the post office at the end of the day, I'm making sure our packages are scanned in the system and obtain a receipt. They just don't leave the box and walk away from it, because sometimes they don't get to scan the system. And I also look at different ways how it is easier for the post office. Once I give one paper, instead of scanning all the other packages I have to give, I scan one barcode and everything is scanned into the system. I also research choose shipping companies and carrier which are not only competitive in prices but faster and reliable. I deal with customs and custom regulations for international packages, and I adhere to strict quality assurance in all formulation that is formulated in the house. I also track all products and ingredients that need an inventory control and management. This is some of the highlights, and I'm going to let the next person to talk, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Chris. What I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for the greatest co-host, the greatest person greeting, Mary, Robin. Grateful for Chris and handling the everyday operations of getting your orders formulated and packaged and sent out. I'm grateful for my beautiful wife and family. I'm grateful for having my life back. I'm grateful for having discovered the King Diet. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. And, you know, Christmas, the reason I'm having this program today is because it's sometimes difficult to really notice what one has to be grateful for. It's easy to focus on, oftentimes, what we don't have. And Christmas is not, or Hanukkah, is not always a time of joy for a lot of people. It sometimes comes at the wrong time or at a time of a reminder of a loss that you've had in the past around the same time of year. May have lost a family member to an accident or a serious illness, and then there are other things too. It may just happen to come along the time of year where you got big problems and you don't have time for Christmas. Christmas and holidays don't have time for you, and you're more likely to be in the bah humbug. In fact, there are some people who are borderline losing their homes, for instance. I thought about that. We look at people who are homeless sometimes as maybe being less than, because they didn't cut it. They lost their home for whatever reason, and they're living on the street. And wow, it takes one hell of a brave person to do that, to step away and have lost everything and take that option as opposed to ending one's life. It's really a big change. So it's not always a time of joy and happiness. There are people, because of Morgellons and what it has brought into their lives, their misery and financial, that have trouble sleeping at night, have trouble even going from one minute to the next without waves of anxiety. Waves of anxiety that are almost impossible to feel. Waves of anxiety that you want to almost escape somehow. And I can understand why people do take their lives and have taken their lives because of this illness and what it has brought to them. The anxiety of how are you going to stay where you're living? How are you going to make the bills that you have due? How are you going to get food? How are you going to be here tomorrow and survive tomorrow? It is not always a happy time. And the challenge is to deal with these waves of anxiety that happen. Robin, have you ever had a situation where you had that, where you just had waves of anxiety, where you felt like you had to get out of your skin, like you're totally consumed by thoughts of losing things or something falling apart and Humpty Dumpty can't put it back together again kind of thoughts?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. It's no fun, is it?
No, it's really hard.
And the key is to catch yourself. I don't have the total answer, but I know that staying in the wave of anxiety means that your unconscious intelligence is telling you the obvious. There's a threat. There is a threat. Now, the threat doesn't have to be to your physical being. It doesn't have to be a mugger threatening you with a gun. The threat can be financial losses, the loss of your home, the loss of your social status, the loss of your job. That is just as dangerous as a threat to your physical being. Mary, have you ever experienced this kind of wave of anxiety?
Yeah, I have. I've had a pretty difficult life with a lot of problems. Husband with a brain aneurysm, daughter with cancer. Even yesterday, the thought of having to replace broken pipes just was sending me over the edge. So yeah, I've been through it a lot.
Right. Yeah, broken pipes. My furnace broke down last night at 9 p.m. Can you imagine calling my the guy who services it and ruining his Christmas Eve and having him come out and drive 45 minutes to fix my furnace? And then, well, fortunately I had the parts. I changed the filter, I changed the nozzle, and I handled it myself. But it's no fun. That didn't cause any wave of anxiety, believe me, fortunately. But it can sometimes send people over the edge easy enough. So dealing with the waves of anxiety. So I don't have the total answer. part of it is in some of the programs that I've created, like Overcome Depression, and a lot of it is in everything that I do and have done forever. And that is to recognize that when you're experiencing anxiety, it's your unconscious intelligence looking out for your best interest and telling you that there is a physical threat to your being. Notice that. Your unconscious intelligence has converted this psychological threat, this financial threat, to a threat to your physical being. That's what your subconscious. Now let that sink in. What does that mean? Your unconscious intelligence, let me repeat that again, has converted whatever financial threat or health threat that you have, maybe uncertainty about getting your medical test back, or uncertainty about a family member's health or whatever, or uncertainty about who knows. It has converted that fear into a physical threat, and it's like your subconscious is saying you need to fight or run away from something. Well, it's obvious that there is nothing in your bedroom, for instance, where you may be experiencing these things that you're going to physically fight. Absolutely not. Yes, you can run, but where are you going to run to? The kitchen, the living room, outside, get in the car, drive do a Forrest Gump thing and cross the country back and forth, Where are you going to run to? These are, neither one of them are practical options. So that's the first thing you want to recognize, that what your brain is telling you, your subconscious is saying you need to fight or run, and it's gearing you up to do that, and neither one are plausible options. So what is the next step? Well, the next step is to get into owning. Is this where you want to be? Your brain is ruminating about this fear, which is ruining Christmas, which is ruining, your being. It doesn't have to be at Christmas, but unfortunately, oftentimes these things might come about during the holidays, making you a Scrooge and turning off Christmas music, shying away from people having fun, shying away from your own family, becoming more introvert, stuck in the worry position. And what the hell happens here? What happens with your intelligence level, Robin?
Down.
What happens with your creativity?
Doesn't even exist anymore at that point.
It's gone. You may as well hang it up. It's gone. There's no hope for you, because this is what your brain has gotten you into, and you are participating in the misery. So what is the option? How do you get out of it? Well, we've discussed this a few times when we did stress management, and this is to recognize that everything has to do with energy. For whatever reason, you have let or contributed to a lot of energy that is not healthy for your psychological well-being. And it's important to recognize you have a choice. You can stick in this energy, gloom and doom, recognizing you have no creativity, recognizing that the likelihood of getting out will be at the luck of somebody else helping you. If that, I love all these Christmas movies. This is another thing about Christmas that does not fit in with somebody. I mean, you need a Christmas miracle, and every one of these wonderful Christmas movies are about the Christmas miracle that comes for this person, but it most likely ain't coming for you. So you don't even want to watch Christmas movies or have anything to do with them, because you're in this frame of mind, and it's a bitch. So choose the energy that works. Now, it might sound silly, might sound stupid, but switch your thoughts from gloom and doom to I am creative. I am successful. I am me. I am healthy. I am well. I am prosperous. I am highly successful and prosperous person. Sounds like a lie. And if you look at your financials, yeah, it could be a lie. But words are energy, and you can choose them. And in the midst of the waves of anxiety, you want to shift out of it. And this is one way of shifting out of it, is just to get and flood your mind with affirmations, with energy that is on your side. So I'm not guaranteeing you that it's going to flip the switch, but it's an opportunity that you have to flip the switch. And when you flip that switch, creativity abounds. Now, some people, and Chris would say, turn it over to God. Okay, that's another way of doing it. I am not a religious person. If you're religious, fine. Many people tell me that they feel God sent me to them. Well, okay, that's fine. But the God I believe in is the universe laws of physics, chemistry, mathematics, and probability. And the more we know about those laws, the more we have abilities to be creative and solve our problems and get on with life. As opposed to, like I used to be sitting around many, many years ago waiting for some divine intervention or somebody who knew more about me than I did to solve my problems. So I'm not into that kind of thinking. I'm into picking up our bootstraps and doing it ourselves, or being bold enough and brave enough to go homeless if that's necessary, the end result. Okay, if anyone would like to share your experience of what you have been through, you're welcome to right now. If you'd like to share what you're grateful for, it could be simply having a pair of shoes.
Laura.
Hi, Laura.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, Richard, for the reminder about the I am statement. I agree with that, and I have a praise. I do feel like God did lead me to. I prayed for wisdom over and over again, and I believe that I've gained that wisdom with the book and listening and the coaches, and I thank Ethel too for her advice, and Robin, and I just, Merry Christmas again, and praise God for all of you, and may He bless you, and may you have many blessings this new year. And then I thank you, Chris. I think somehow my new products got here like tomorrow or today. I woke up, and I do have a praise about that. I took the sulfur for the first time. I finally got the multivitamin. It's struggle to get everything. And then I tried this dandelion tea. I read that article about one of the research people that you had in Africa, and you said she's no longer with us, but I'm sorry about that.
Yes, it's so unfortunate. She was so gifted.
And I read her article, and so that's where I got the idea about the dandelion tea. And I don't know, something just kind of broke today, and I am praising God. I feel like everything's kind of coming together. I'm trying to approach this from healing from the inside out, instead of the other around as much as I was this summer. And I felt like I was spinning my wheels. And the diet, I would encourage anyone to just keep at the diet, and this eye cream too. I think I've had struggles with that area, and I think that's going to help. All of it is helping. So I'm just very grateful. And I did have two questions, but is there a separate?
Sure, you can ask right now.
Okay. One was for Mary about the borax. Did you just jump right in and just take, the one from Morgellons shop, or did you just over a period of a month kind of, 1 week add more as far as the boron?
Yeah, no, I just jumped in and started taking it. I'm immunodeficient, and that causes me to have a lot of allergies and sensitivities. So if I start taking something, I take it full strength and see, if I have a reaction, then I have to stop. But no, I love it, and I've never had a problem with it.
Well, I've just started it, and I'm increasing, and I'm seeing results. But I think there's something about the sulfur. I just didn't realize how deficient my body's become. And I think I need it.
Is that the MSM?
Yeah, the MSM gel caps. Yeah.
Yeah, I love them too. I love them. They really help me a lot.
Yeah, something has made a tremendous difference for me just this morning. Praise God. So.
Did you have another question, Laura?
It's a baking question. Some products I've been wanting to try to add to bread are like xanthan gum. I think that might be a no. Okay, Teft powder.
What?
Teft flour.
Teft flour, no.
Okay. And then is there a baking powder for stage 1?
Oh, yeah. Robin, what is it, the brand, stage 1 baking powder?
I forget, but it says aluminum free on it, and it's a red and white round container.
Is it Bob's? Is it Bob's?
No.
No. Bob.
But you can get it at any supermarket. You just got to read labels. Aluminum-free baking powder.
And probably some health food stores should probably have it.
Yeah, but every supermarket has it, literally.
Okay.
Okay, I've seen a lot with cornstarch in it, and I know I don't
No
want
good,
that.
yeah.
No. Just read labels. You'll find it.
Okay.
Thank you for the recipe. I tried it right away. It was
awesome. Thank you, Laura. And because we got technical there, let me, the FDA requires me to inform everybody that we are not, that before you start the King Diet or accept any of our recommendations, that we just made a recommendation that you are to discuss them thoroughly with your doctor to make sure they do not interfere with any health problems your doctor is presently experiencing. The AMA requires us to tell you we're not trained physicians, so we're not here to diagnose, treat, cure, or mitigate any disease. We're here to educate you how to clean your body, how to use the King Diet for your benefit, and how to build the health and immune function through targeted supplements and clean your surroundings. Okay, who's next? Thank you, Laura. Keep coming back.
Jeanette.
Hi, Jeanette.
Okay. I'm trying to unmute. You're here. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, okay. There we go. Thank you so much. I always have a problem with that. I have two things. One is if I travel upstream, as they say now, I used to do a lot of things wrong. And, I didn't think it was that bad, but one of the things I did wrong for me was to complain and try to explain and do all the things that we talk about here that we shouldn't do. So I was a little, I thought I was a little grateful, but I really wasn't that grateful because I was miserable. And I turned it around a few months ago, as you may have witnessed. And I am so grateful now because when you're grateful, I do believe your acidity neutralizes and things just go better for you. I don't complain anymore. I don't try to explain anymore. I see people that are happy around me, and they were always happy, but they didn't understand why I was miserable. And I did not want to be with my family for a couple of years, and they were very upset with me to the point of wanting to move away. And I said, well, you have to do what you have to do, and I have to do what I have to do because I am protecting you from what I have. And they just wouldn't understand that. And then little by little, I did clean myself up and go to their houses, and I saw nanos there, and I saw nanos on them, but it's not affecting them. They have what maybe Richard would say is such a high vibration. They're not sick. They don't have itchiness. They don't have any of the symptoms. So I really kind of let loose with that, and again, just clean up as best I can, always freshly laundered clothes and, put things on my skin. I don't believe I'm actually shedding anymore anyway, so, not itching after about 2 to 3 weeks of the diet. So I think it's really important what you're saying, and I think sometimes we're just stubborn because we have habits, and we don't understand until you're into it and really try it or do it. You know, I don't like when other people say to me, "I'll try," and I said, "Well, no, you can't try. You've got to do it," and there is a difference.
So
and
true.
There's something else I want to say. I just have to take a sip of my tea. I'm so dry. Hold on. I'm sorry. Now, this is one of my sons. I do have a large family, as you may know, who wanted to get another dog for his dog, who was lonely and nervous and all that. He thought it would help. And he found a dog. It was a stray that a neighbor had. And he brought it to the vet, and it supposedly was not chipped, but it was chipped. And the vet said, "Oh, this person has got to be arrested. This is the second time the dog's been lost. We don't know what's going on with this person. Let's call the police. Let's really, get rid of this person." And my son said, "Listen, it's Christmas. Let's not do that if you don't have to by law. May I please go take this dog back to the owner and see what's up? Because I do want the dog, and let me just see what the owner is all about." So he had the permission, even though he did go with somebody else in case there was danger there. It didn't sound like a good situation. And when he went into the house, this person was an addict and having a lot of personal issues, I'll put it that way, and really a mess, could not take care of himself. And he wanted to keep the dog. And it took my son 2 hours of convincing him, "You're living in a mess, you have no food, you can't take care of yourself. Would you please give the dog up? Because really they're going to take the dog from you anyway and you'll be left with nothing. So I want to convince you to give me the dog." And he said, "Listen, I'll give you $500. Can you please get help?" And that's how it ended. The young man got the $500 in cash. My son got the dog, rescued this dog, and it was a sad opening, but I think a very happy ending. Humans are humans, and we all get into trouble. It depends to what degree and in what circumstance, but none of us are, pristine, pure people. We all have issues, and I'm really proud of my son that he handled it in that way, and to me, it's the love of the season that came across. So I just wanted to share that story, and I hope you understand my heart in sharing it with you.
My hat goes off to your son, truly. Thank you. Thank you, Jeanette. Okay. Anyone else? Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Anyone else?
Hi, am I unmuted? This is
you are.
Leslie.
I can hear you, Leslie.
Well, peace on earth to everybody, goodwill to everybody. Goodwill to the people you love and the people you can't stand. Goodwill to us all because it's Christmas. Peace, 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 and goodwill. So I've been saying that to people for the last 3 days. I'm grateful for Richard's book and for the things that I've tried out that have worked. I still have mites on my head, but so much less than before. I'm maybe there's an end coming sooner rather than months and years away. So I'm very grateful for that. And I'm grateful for other things in the book. And I'm grateful, Richard, that you have this mission, this enthusiasm to spread the word. I often wish that you could work with a medical researcher who could write an article with you or do some kind of an evidence-based study with you and then get that published to the medical community so that you could be recognized, and so that not just you to be recognized, but these things that are helpful to get out there to mainstream doctors and to naturopaths as well. Because my naturopath, I did what he knew, and it helped a little bit, but that's all he knew. So that's something that I've actually been wishing for you, Richard.
Thank you.
Let's see. In terms of gratitude, I'm grateful that I live in Vermont. I'm grateful that this is a state that likes to take care of its people. If you're low income, it's a little bit, we do have warming shelters here. It's not quite the same as a homeless shelter, but we have warming shelters for this winter or cold season time of year. But we also have a lot of help from the state towards its most vulnerable. And so I've had a couple of years here where I've been on food stamps, and I'm grateful, and on fuel assistance, and I'm grateful. Vermont likes to take care of its vulnerable people. So I'm grateful about that. And I'm just grateful in general. I have lovely people that are part of my church. I'm in the choir. I'm half the choir. And I wrote an anthem, and we sang it last night for Christmas Eve. And it was lovely to sing with these really good musicians. And I'm grateful for friends. I'm grateful my family's far away, and I'm an elder now. You know, my parents have both died, and, you know, I now have a niece and a grandniece. But I'm grateful for family, those of us still alive. And what else? I'm grateful that we show the movie White Christmas in my town of Bellows Falls. And it's full of Vermont jokes, and there's so much funnier if you're sitting in a theater with 100 other Vermont people and the Vermont jokes come. You know, I never noticed the Vermont jokes before I lived here. So I'm grateful for that. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to one and all, Happy Solstice, and every day and every way, may we all get better and better. Peace, guys. I'm going to mute now.
Thank you. The best is yet to come. Who's next, Chris? Thank you. Happy Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
I say I'm grateful to be alive. I'm just grateful. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. I just appreciate all the things that I've been blessed with, and I appreciate the people in my life that are very influential to me. I think I talked to good this morning. But anyway, I'm thankful for everybody that cares, and thankful that I have came across on the internet. I was praying and I was asking God to help me to find something concerning Morgellons, because I was looking it up, and I say, because I had read, and then I was going through some of those same things, and I didn't know why I was going through that, but they had told me that I had RA, and I wasn't exactly convinced, you know, but anyway, they gave me medication. I didn't want to take that. I took it a while, took my hair out, so I stopped that. And then I came across your site, and so I entered my name and email address in there. And so I was glad that I had got in touch with somebody that knew what was going on. There was the same experiences that I was going through, and I didn't know how to do it. Anyway, I wanted to ask you, this doctor told me to wash my hair every day, but ketoconazole. I've been washing it every day, but I still have those things in my head, like, and I want to know if it, does it help or hurt to wash the hair every day because you're washing oils out of it?
Well, that's a good question. And as far as I know, the ketoconazole is an antifungal. And assuming that you're dealing with a fungus, okay, you know, everybody's dealing with something else. There's a email that I asked that Mary's going to read a little later on about this woman writing in saying she's been on albendazole for a long time, and it's beginning to affect her health. Well, albendazole is for intestinal parasites, and if she doesn't have intestinal parasites, it's not going to do much good in terms of getting well or better from Morgellons if that's not her cofactor. Likewise, if what is in your scalp is not fungal in nature, then the my kenazole is not going to do much, you know. On the other hand, I've gotten people write in and said, yeah, I took it and it cured me. Okay, well, that only tells me you're dealing with a fungal issue, which is the prime issue. So we do have a protocol that will handle basically fungal or mites or anything in the book. If you look up or go to the table of contents and look and search for scalp or hair, it'll take you through pretty much a foolproof technique. It is extensive and it's a bit involved, and it means doing it maybe 3 times a day for starters. So washing your hair too much is not an issue. It's a matter of doing it and being effective at what you're doing so that you get the organisms out. There's also a medication. Now, if you're dealing with mites, and we have no idea what you might be dealing with, but you might get a sense if you find black specks in your bedding and clothing frequently, then that's an indication that you might be dealing with mites. And there's a medication that's available through shop4morgellons.com with the number 4, shop4morgellons.com that supplies Nitimperam, which is a medication for mites. So it's basically, the important thing is to identify the cofactor. Now, if you complete the questionnaire that is available and send it in, I'll be glad to go through and give you more information as to what is happening, and also detailed recommendations.
Okay, thank you.
Sure thing.
I think it's Mike. I also, these little stringy, hairy things on my, that it just started happening. I didn't understand all that. On my leg and my feet, they love my feet, I guess.
You say hairy things?
Yeah, something is hairy on my legs and all.
Yeah, that's filaments. Dr. Saverly says in her book, Morgellons, A Legitimization of a Disease, that filaments growing from your skin is in her estimation Morgellons. In fact, of all the symptoms people have, that is the characteristic symptom of Morgellons. All the other symptoms, rashes and biting and itching, can be contributed to other organisms as well, including Morgellons.
Well, I looked at the site. I was going to order some things, but I probably have to order it on my husband's computer because I don't have a virus protection right now on this phone.
If you can't find the questionnaire, send me an email, and you can reply to any email. In fact, anybody on the call or anybody in my mailing list, you don't have to know my email. All you have to do is reply to any email that you get from me, and you can change your subject line or leave it the same, and give me a comment or a question.
Okay. All right.
And just ask for the questionnaire, and I'll be glad to send it to you. Okay, thank you. Keep coming back. We're here to support you in getting your life back. Who's next? Oh, I did want to note. I did want to note that we have a candy store now. So anybody who is missing candy, particularly dark chocolate made with our better stevia, you can order chocolate. Or there's a recipe. I'll be glad to send you the recipe. I have 2 comments so far about our dark candy. One came from a lady. Unfortunately, it sat probably a week or 2, I don't know, maybe a week to 10 days in a post office. And we're not experts on how to actually ship it out yet, the best way of getting it to you. But I send it out the same way that I ordered dark chocolate from another company, just to the purpose of seeing how they package it and so forth. And she thought it looked like it was old and wasn't made from fresh ingredients based on what it looked like when it arrived. And I can assure you that the ingredients are brand new. They're spanking fresh. I make it myself. I'm the chocolatier at this point, and I'm learning. And I got it to where I can't put it down. I have a taste of this dark chocolate. Now, it's bitter, a little, and I compared it to dark chocolate that I paid $30 for a few ounces from Chile, which is a super dark chocolate advertised to be made from sugar instead, and I like mine better. So you have a little bit of dark chocolate, you have a little taste of lactose-free milk, and a little more, it gets addictive. And if you can handle the walnuts, oh man, you're in heaven. You can add a walnut, that dark chocolate, a little bit, or coffee, it's up to you. And here's what another person said. Hi, I really like the chocolate bars. I wish I could make it myself. Well, you can. I published it, and you can make your own chocolate bars. In fact, it's made from cocoa butter, and cocoa butter is an oil, and like you can get fat on it. Really, it can maybe help you gain weight because it's just, instead of consuming butter or rice bran oil, you're consuming cocoa butter, and it's a fat, so it's wonderful. So she says, I wish I could make it myself. Is there a recipe? Yes, there's a recipe. But I'm so happy in 6 years finally to get to eat a chocolate bar. So if you get it and you order it and it doesn't look perfect, hey, it tastes perfect. Get the thought of what it might look like out of your mind because it is excellent. Okay, who's next? My little ad for chocolate bars.
Gratitude is super, super important. I shared with Richard through email that I'm dealing with an infection with an infestation in my. I think I found the source, and I think it's the people and the dogs that live below me, the washing machine, and I'm just really, really. I've been going crazy cleaning and and I've been bit a million. It's just like it's awful. But like I don't, it's not as bad. Like I'm not, they're not coming out of me. It's like on me. So, and around me and everywhere. And I've just been trying to follow the protocols as much as I can. I also shared. I'm like I ran out of everything. Didn't have a car. It was just one of those weeks. So. The week before Christmas is stressful, but I'm grateful because my mom committed suicide back in 2014, and after that, I became an alcoholic, and I just hated the holidays. And after I had my daughter, I got sober, and she's 3 now, and this was like really the first Christmas that like she understands and is like really engaged. It was so fun, and I got to be a mom, and I got to and I wouldn't be able to do that if I wasn't sober, if I wasn't grateful, if if I didn't have a program like this to get me through Morgellons. I got sober, which is for a lot of people really difficult, but like this is so much harder because like I thought about it because it was like when I kind of first started dealing with this like really bad back in at like the spring, and I went for a walk with my daughter, and I like kind of just figured out what it was, and my life fell apart, and I saw a bottle of like a little nip of Fireball, and that was like my favorite, and I walked by it, and I was like, at least like if you're an alcoholic, like it's like you can stop. Like you actually have the option. I'm like, I can't make this stop. Like there's no way out. At least like I could stop drinking. I couldn't stop these parasites. And like today I can make them stop. And it's kind of the same thing. And I'm kind of lucky because I came into this. I'm the type of person that when I go into something, I go all in. So I followed the program. I did the work. I wanted to get the freedom that they say comes with it, and I did. So like I came into Morgellons already having tools behind, like it, to be able to use to be able to get through the hard days and to realize that I can restart my day at any time, even if I have a bad morning. Doesn't mean that I have to have a bad day. I can press the reset button and just like all those little tools, giving time, and just realizing that things do get better, maybe not immediately, but if you do the next right thing, and if you just keep your feet and your head in the same place and grounding, which, then I discovered that's actually a thing that you have to do. It's really, there's a lot to be grateful for, even when you're being attacked because the people downstairs are filthy, disgusting animals. Sorry, but yeah, I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful that this Christmas I don't want to die, because that was my, I have a mom who committed suicide, and then I got a disease that 800 times more likely, they say in the Morgellons statistics. That's what Dr. Savely says. 800 times more likely to commit suicide. I already have a mom, and I don't want to do that. I'm free. I'm free even with this, even when it's bad. And that's my testament. And I too, like Chris, I'm a devout Jesus follower, and he's gotten me through it. And as shared, like, I love music. Music has really, really gotten me through it. When I couldn't see, when I couldn't, I would go to church, and no matter what, like, I knew I had to be there for the worship. I might not have sat through the service. Like, I couldn't, and I would stay away from people, but I would be there just to go to that worship service with the whole get up on my head, just like in the book, and that saved my life, and then as soon as, like, my body got a little better, I mentioned last week, dancing, just having something that you can connect to that gets you outside. I'm just really grateful that I got through the really, really tough times, that I was able to to surrender my addiction of sugar, and all the things that were keeping me. And I was thinking about it. I think that that maybe shifting the language in terms of calling it a diet, because it's not a diet. I mean, it is. It's a meal plan, but like it's the lifestyle that gives you freedom. Like, you can either live in hell or you can live free. and when you, like, for me, when I thought of it that way, and when I was hearing these testaments, I'm like, I just can't. I can't keep on, like, just like when I was sick and tired of being sick and tired of drinking alcohol and not even, like, having fun anymore. It was the same thing, and I was going through it and going through it and going through it. And I'm like, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm living in hell. I'm done. And to me, that's not a diet. It's a decision. And I think that once I made that decision, I've been able to really get through a lot, and I'm grateful for that. So I'm really grateful for this program and for being here even on Christmas,
Thank you.
because a lot of people, yeah. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And there are many people that have told me that drug addiction and alcoholism is nothing compared to this. And once they get in the program, this program, kicking the alcoholism and the drugs is a snap.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. Then that concludes this portion of the program. Wow, we've had a lot of people share today, and that's wonderful. Thank you.